OMFL.
You can't touch this.
And you're in the mix with Kinda Real Name. Here's another OMFL production.
All right, what's up, and welcome to Press Pass Live, your weekly podcast show for the OMFL. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got to be honest, it is late on a Sunday night. I had to get my Week 12 game in, which means we were cutting this baby short and sweet. No agenda on the side. That's still updated from last week. I didn't have a chance to update it. We're going to cut the fat. We're going to get right into it. No agenda. This is unscripted, a Press Pass Live that's unscripted, but I am glad you are tuning in with me. I am the commish, of the OMFL. I forgot my name for a second there. I didn't forget my name. I just forgot what I'm supposed to say there. But I'm the commissioner of the OMFL, the founder of the Grown Folks Online Community, Nate, and I'm so glad that you're here with me. We're doing pre-recorded once again because though my internet is working well enough for me to be able to stream games the old-fashioned way and be able to what am I trying to see? This is why we gotta cut the fat. We gotta get to the bottom of the line and get me off the bed because this brain is fried. I'm in the middle of a tropical storm. It's been a long weekend, but I was trying to say I can still play games and stream the old-fashioned way. I just can't stream the new way with all the new perks and everything. So we're going ultimately raw and old-fashioned with it being recorded. Let's jump into my game of the week. Let's get over here to no chat and just start looking at it. My game of the week for week number 11 was the Chiefs and the Steelers. So Penguins with his Chiefs are going back to face the team that he built in the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they've been through a couple of owners now, but Clyde is there. And so this was a defensive battle between a defensive team and then Penguins and his new offensive powerhouse. And this game was as close as it looks with one little stat that was a little bit weird. 250 offensive passing yards to 218, 128 rushing yards for the Chiefs to 94, one turnover each. The time of possession was just about equal. 6 third down conversions to 5 third down conversions. So this was super even, but here's the one stat that really stuck out to me. Jared Goff, 265 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Whereas Council was 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, 269. Goff was sacked 5 times. Council was sacked 2 times. The rushing game also didn't really blow you away. It was kind of a shared backfield type situation. Cohen 13 for 82, Mixon 15 for 82. So nothing really to brag about there. Mixon did have his 2 touchdowns in the day. But Tyreek Hill is just a monster. I just actually finished playing Kansas City. It was a crazy game. We could probably talk about that one on the next Press Pass Live. But Tyreek Hill just simply runs past players, and Council is just throwing bullets to that guy. Smith-Schuster is having the best receiving season of this, or best receiver season that we've seen in a long time. He's got 8 for 122, so these two guys are going back and forth, but no touchdowns for Hill as Council wasn't able to get anything into the end zone. He was handing the ball off for that. But Smith-Schuster here was able to grab 2 touchdowns on the day to really keep this one really close. Again, on defense, nothing really shines. A couple of guys with 7 tackles. We did see Speaks to get 2 sacks on the day, and then a couple of interceptions shared between all of these guys. So a back and forth game that looked like Kansas City was the only team to be able to score in the 4th quarter, and that's just enough to swoop away with a 27-24 victory for the Kansas City Chiefs as he goes back and beats his old team and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Clyde is definitely getting used to having a quarterback, and is still going to be able to play some really, really good defense with that team. There's a couple of things that I just kind of wanted to dig into. Number one is talk about two teams that we need to stop and have a conversation about, and that's the Redskins and the Titans. Now, I know you would say, but look at the Colts, right? The Colts are right up there with them. They're 10-1. They've scored 346 points, 232 allowed. But you know what? The Colts are always like that. Kind of come to expect that the Colts. Maybe that's not fair, but it is the truth. I'm going to give myself one little... Oops, my bad, guys. I know I did this last time, and it did not work well at all. But I see that I need to give myself one little bump here. Alright, we're going to see how that works. I think that should be enough of a bump there. Just a little bump, trying to get a little bit more volume in that. But anyway, the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm still talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. That's past, and they just kind of move on with your life. It's the Redskins and the Titans, and these two teams just playing outstanding football. It's actually pretty amazing to see how good these two teams are. But you got to take note of the Kansas City. I mean, God, I got the Kansas City Chiefs stuck in the noggin. It's late. What am I doing? The Washington Redskins have scored 374 points here. We're going to talk about their quarterback in a little bit, but it's 24 touchdowns to only 10 interceptions, and he is playing the prototypical Dwayne football. It's the football that we've seen Dwayne play in this league for a very long time and become a winning team for a long time here, and that's all because of what he can do by not turning the ball over, playing great defense and forcing you into turnovers, and that's exactly what we're seeing from the Redskins here, which is just magnificent football. A 9-game winning streak. He's won 6 of them at home, 4 of them on the road. He's sitting here at 10-1. But the Tennessee Titans are right behind him and seems to be doing it from a slightly different aspect. He's going to be a running game. He's got a defensive Hall of Famer in the OMFL that is just, he's got 30 sacks. I mean, we're going to talk about him a little bit. The Titans have rattled off 10 in a row. They started off the season 0-1. They've rattled off 10 in a row. Now, I'll say, Mo, if you watch this, the FPR has been bad. It's been actually real bad again, and it's not a good thing in the last season here. But you look at this team, 355 points. It's going to put him 19 points, if my math is right here quickly, behind the Washington Redskins, but only 189 points allowed. I mean, this guy is just playing outstanding defensive football. He's rattled off 10 in a row, and you've got to take note, the Redskins and the Titans may be real deal legit. If the Falcons don't come back and go on a run and make the playoffs, the Colts are looking for a new opponent in the OMFL Bowl. I think he maybe lost on purpose last year so he wouldn't have to go and play the Falcons again. So, maybe he's going to have another team in the Titans. I think that's who he lost to last year. So this is going to get really, really interesting. You've got Maniac, who's right back in the hunt after taking over the Panthers, who I think were 7-0 or 8-0, something like that. He's sitting at 8-2. And so, he's right there. Mo and his Seahawks are at 8-2. There's a lot of good teams, and this is a mix-up of what we've seen from the past couple of seasons, but you got to take note and tip your hat to the Redskins and the Titans. I just want you guys to know that I see you're playing outstanding football, and I'm interested to see how this is going to play out once we get to the playoffs, with the wild card for me being, does D-Money step up into the picture and be able to turn things around? Let's see, and the Falcons are pretty far behind. Yeah, they're 2-8. So it's probably over for the Falcons. So we're going to get a new team. And the Falcons are not going to win the OMFL Bowl for the 19th time in a row or whatever it's been. So that's going to make for an interesting NFC playoffs. It's going to make for an interesting run to the OMFL Bowl. And then what's the matchup that we see once we get to the OMFL Bowl? That's going to be even more interesting to kind of view and see how that one plays out. Here's a couple other things that I really want to look out before we kind of call it a night. Again, this is a pretty fast and furious press pass live, mainly because I need to get my OMFL game in, and it's super late and I got to go to work tomorrow, so I need to get some sleep. But here's a couple of stats that really stuck out to me of some guys that are just playing really, really good football. Look, as soon as we hit touchdowns to to interception ratio. The first guy's going to be Haskins. We were talking about him, right? Dwayne Haskins is playing outstanding. 2,560 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 65% completion percentage. He's only taken 27 sacks. I mean, look, Wilson's taken 19, which is an outstanding number, but Jackson's right behind him with 24. The Bucs have done a good job with Tagovailoa, only 27. And so you can see they're keeping these guys upright. He's very efficient passing the ball, and he's got a really amazing touchdown to interception ratio, which has led to his team being 10-1. I mean, look, you got to look at McCoy for the Panthers. He's 22-12. I mean, they were doing some pretty amazing things with that team. I'm going to be interested to see what happens, though, now that Maniac has that team. Is going to be able to keep that going? And then Mo with his Seahawks. I mean, how he's playing this way with Wilson is pretty amazing, because Wilson has lost age. He lost his X Factor because we turned off all the X Factors. And so actually really amazing that he's able to play high-quality football with Wilson still. Then you got to look at Breda. He comes over from the 49ers to the Tennessee Titans. He has a couple of pretty amazing seasons, but he gets injury-prone pretty often. But he's been healthy this year. 193 yards, 1,204 rushing yards, 6.2 average with 16 touchdowns. This guy is all over the field. He is a playmaker for the Tennessee Titans. And he is really the driving force behind what has led to them rattling off 10 in a row, plus with the defensive side that we'll talk about in just a bit. But you've got to tip your hat to Breda, who's having an outstanding season with a lot of games left to go here. I mean, we've got, we're in week 12, so we've got 4 games left, 5 games left. I don't know what he's got, but he's got 4 to 5 games left. And he has an opportunity to break 2,000 yards if he has a couple big games. We talked about Smith-Schuster a while ago. You can see here 63 receptions, 1,159 yards, I should say, 7 touchdowns. But you got to look at McLaren here. We're talking about the Redskins and that great touchdown to interception ratio. But look what he's doing with McLaren, 1,080 yards, 13 touchdowns for this kid. So he's got well over half the touchdowns there for the Washington Redskins. And this guy is just all over the field making plays. And you can see with the Miners, I know they haven't had the season that they won, but they got Gator and Ruggs. And it's just, again, this entire Madden, this guy has put up some amazing receivers. But Juju Smith-Schuster's got 3 owners, I think, this season. And he's having an outstanding season with 63 receptions and 7 touchdowns. Then on defense, this is a guy that really stuck out to me. Let's go over here to sacks. Now, the sacks are a lot more calmer this season, which is what we wanted to see with no X Factors. But watch this. 30 sacks for Mr. Jabari Thurman. I mean, this guy is a Hall of Famer. By far, outside of Cox, because this Madden's been very overpowered and just had some amazing seasons. But as a Madden-generated player and over the longevity of his career here in the OMFL, I'm guessing he's going to retire. I hope not. He's only played here 8 years. I hope he takes him into Madden 21. It just would be amazing to see a guy span 3 Maddens. But this guy's a Hall of Famer, and he's having another Hall of Fame season here. 30 sacks, 63 tackles, 11 tackles for a loss, 14 assists. And this is coming from a defensive tackle. He is just making plays in the backfield. He's all over the place, and he is running away with this Defensive Player of the Year award. And then there's a couple of guys on the interception side that you gotta just look at, and that's what the Miami Dolphins have done. Ashton Davis, their rookie free safety, who's just ran away with this Rookie of the Year. He's got 9 interceptions, and then Xavier Howard, the cornerback on the other side, he's also got 9. You can see the Kansas City Chiefs here with Darius Slay and Denzel Ward. They each have 7. So we've seen the interceptions have a nice tick up even without X Factor. But you can see the Miami Dolphins have gathered with a couple of really good playmakers, especially this Davis kid. He would be really fun to bring with him over into Madden 21. Too bad this is not a draft that he can do that. So a couple of players here that are just really kind of sticking out to me, and just guys that you got to just stop and take note of. Chris Finke, he's got 44 kick returns, but 2 of them for touchdowns. So he's going to be a guy that's going to be in the Pro Bowl running for special teams. And then you can see these guys. I've had a couple, Jaquan Brett and John Ross for the Cincinnati Bengals. So again, just a few stats that really stuck out to me. And a couple teams are just playing really amazing football right now. And even though we're 3 quarters through the season, I don't think we've talked enough about the Tennessee Titans. I don't think we've talked enough about the Washington Redskins, about the season the Miami Dolphins are having, their rookie playmaker. Brady's having an amazing season. Thurman's amazing season. Smith-Schuster, even with a couple of different owners, is just having an outstanding season. And so we've got a couple of guys here that are just playing superb football in the OMFL. And we're coming down the stretch here. Again, we're in week 12. And we probably will be into week 13 by tomorrow, because you guys are monsters and just mauling through these games. And it's setting up for a nice little run here. Let's look at some standings, and then we're going to get out of here. This has been a pretty sharp, probably one of the sharpest press pass laps that we've had in a long time. And we're right at 20 minutes, and that's with like a 6-minute opening with the countdown and everything. But let's go run and look at a couple of these teams really, really quick. AFC North, you got the Browns at 8-3. Now the Ravens and Bengals are keeping this pretty close, but the Browns with that 1-game lead, I don't know how these teams finish off here. That's going to be a fun race to see who can win this division. The Colts and Titans are battling it out, and this is what sucks, is when you have 2 amazing teams that are having amazing seasons like this, is like a good team is going to miss the playoffs, and that stinks for them, because 10-1 team is going to have a wild card spot. I mean, that's not going to be fun for any of those teams. Dolphins have come back to the pack a little bit here, but they still have a 1-game lead over the Jets. The Jets have a brand new owner. I actually forget who's taking. I think he's Tim. He's taken over that team. And you can see the Patriots, they're starting to get things rolling. They're not completely out of it. He's 3 games back. He's got some opportunities to turn things around here. Look at the AFC West, I should say, the Kansas City Chiefs are tied with the Miners, but the Miners haven't played so far. The rest of the teams are pretty much out of it, but the Miners have great offensive firepower. That offensive team is one of the toughest teams to be able to try to stop. Moving over to the NFC, you look at the NFC North, the Lions have had a really good season. Now they've come to the pack here in the last couple of weeks. I do think that they run away from them. The shocker to me has been the Vikings. I mean, he's really started to make the moves to build this team around him and to fit his play style, but it hasn't quite worked out this season, as it hasn't for a lot of us. But at 4-6, he's not out of it. He has a chance to turn it around. And the other shocker for me is the Packers. I think he started out, they're on an 8-game. Yeah, he started out 3-0. He's on a negative 8-game losing streak. So something went haywire there for the Packers. They looked like they were going to be an outstanding team, and the wheels have kind of fallen off here. Again, Maniac with his Panthers, who took over either like a 7-0 or 6-0 team, something like that. He's stumbled a couple of these games, but he's sitting here at 8-2. The Buccaneers and Big Hurt, he plays efficient football. He's still right here in the running. I know he's had a 2-game losing streak here. I don't think that my Saints have a chance. I mean, technically not out of it, but it's going to be a super long shot. The Redskins at 10-1 have ran away with this division. It's all theirs and wrapped up. I don't see the Cowboys being able to make a run here, with Sox taking over that team a little too late. And then you look at the NFC West, and you got the Seahawks at 8-2. I think they've actually beat the Cardinals once, and so maybe they have the head-to-head there. But the Cardinals are right there in the running. The 49ers and Rams are struggling this season. It's been a tough season for them, but you can see right there that the Seahawks have the control in this one, but the Cardinals have such a great team. I would not count them out. And then really the last thing, I went and looked, and there is no mailbag questions. The chat has died in the past 3 weeks, and that's really my only worry, is the engagement. Again, I know COVID plays a big role into that. I know that things are starting to open up. Summertime is here, and so you mix those two things together, and plus with just the unrest in our country right now, at least, and people maybe not feeling like they're in a safe place or in a good place, and just not their normal selves being in our chat and being super active. So I really encourage you guys to continue to be active, continue to stay plugged in with us. We're going to continue to produce content. I'm going to do an all 22 tomorrow, and we're going to do it on the passing game. That'll be a pretty short video, because there's not a lot of things when it comes to the passing game, just because Madden has done a pretty good job of evening things out. And with us not being a no-switch league, it's kind of opened a few things up. So we'll look at a few small issues that we see. They're mainly going to be around adjustments and just the normal FPR that we have around mainly like dropbacks and things like that. So tune in tomorrow for an all 22, but this is all for Press Pass Live. Again, it was short and sweet. I wanted to get one out. I want to continue to engage you guys. Go back to the questions, submit some owner submitted questions, engage in the chat. Come on. I know that things are tough for a lot of us right now, but this is a place that we can unplug and that we can enjoy. And just, I guess as a disclaimer, because I've had a couple of these messages, we've had some weird stuff happen to a few owners, and weird's probably not the greatest. I don't love that word, and we probably shouldn't have used it. We've had some unfortunate events happen to a few owners, and they've had to step away. Literally, it's been like deaths and just craziness that's happened to people, and so I know that that has led for this to be a tough season. It's the last season, so since it's the last season, once losing teams know that they're out of it, they stop engaging, they stop caring, they stop putting forth any kind of effort, and it's just kind of led to this mixture of a really dead chat and a really disengaged ownership. But I will say, I am a loyal commissioner, and loyalty speaks a lot to me in all the ways, just kind of in life and especially in this league. Anyone who decides that they need to get off the bus, I'm just letting you know now, unless it's a super special circumstance, you're not going to have a spot for Madden 21. And I will put others above you in the deuces as they have opportunities to come up. Because I just, guys that have left us, just so that we know, they're just not going to be offered the spot back. It's going to be a long time before I'm ready, if ever, to allow those guys back, because I just feel like if guys have had an opportunity here, if they had multiple opportunities especially, and you decide that you no longer want that opportunity, it's time to give somebody else a try. Even though I love a lot of those guys and it'd be awesome to have them back, I think that there's a lot of reasons it would be an opportunity to give somebody else a try. So again, that's not a threat. It is just the way I'm handling it. Guys that have had to take a break because of personal reasons, they are forfeiting their personal first-round pick. If they traded for other first-round picks, then they will still be able to use those. But their personal first-round pick, they're going to avoid those. We just felt like that was the fairest thing to do. So that's going to go for anybody that's missed a lengthy amount of time this season, just to keep things fair. And again, if you can't hang in there a couple more weeks and be engaged, I do pay attention. The last season weighs very heavily on when I look at ownership offers for Madden 21, and we're already having this conversation. So again, not everybody is usually offered back. I say that, and then I usually talk myself into offering everybody back, but I definitely think there's some guys here that we just clearly, they just don't fit. They don't fit with me. They don't fit with the community. And honestly, that's a big thing. If you can't get along with me and like, what we're doing here because I'm the leader, then we got to find somewhere else for you to play, because that's not going to be enjoyable for either one of us. And again, if you can't hang in there with us and finish your games and finish strong, then again, probably not going to have a place for you. Not a threat. It's just how I think, and I'm just kind of sharing those offerings as we are starting to turn our attention to Madden 21. We know that we're going to get some news on Madden 21 really soon. I'm just setting this all up. It will probably be Madden 20 whitewashed in a new logo. That's probably what we're going to get. So I wouldn't expect any massive changes. Hopefully they make enough tweaks to make this game feel really, really good. So that's going to be it for me. I hope that you guys have a really blessed week this week. I'm going to go finish this thunderstorm off over the next 24 hours. Press Pass Live is finished, but I will have a brand new all 22 for you tomorrow. It'll be pretty short and sweet. So come hang out with me. Leave your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I asked guys what you were thinking last time, and I got very little comments, except for Clyde. He's my buddy. He's always on there leaving me his comments. So have a great rest of your week. God bless you. Peace.